Okay. Welcome to the Selectmen's meeting of Monday, April 7th, 2025. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public input. Do we have any public input? Okay. Next is approval of minutes for the March 24th Selectmen's meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve these as written.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and right off, go to our appointments. Eileen Gill, from Parks and Rec.
Hello.
Hi there.
Over here? Okay.
Sure, absolutely. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you
Very well,
guys?
thank you.
Good.
Good. So, only one pertinent agenda item. You probably know we've been trying to recruit people to be on the commission. All right. So, we reached out. I reached out to the PTCO at the school. They sort of said they would take it under advisement, pass it along to their members and see, we're trying to get a more broad representation on the commission. Okay, so that's been reached out, and then some of our own people have reached out. So I have two recommendations to make to add to the commission. The first one would be to create a youth position, so a high schooler, preferably a junior or senior, to represent the younger people. If we were able to get somebody from PCS, that would be great. There would be somebody from that input, so I'll keep working on that. But this young man has been recommended. His name is Seth Charest. He's a senior. So we would like to just appoint him for 1 year as a senior to see how a youth. I know there are other, maybe not in this town, but there are other entities that have a young person giving input. So that would be our first recommendation. I don't know if you had any questions about that.
Maximum members, do we have, can we appoint more members than we have seats?
We don't have a set amount of seats. Right now, we only have 3 full-time members. Myself, Sarah Warner,
Yeah.
and, 4. And Zach Tufts and his dad,
Mick.
Mick. All right, so there are 4. Technically, on a board, you need an odd number of people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we don't have, there's no, in anything that we've seen, there's no number given. I mean, I think when I came on, there were only 3 members, 3 public members. We went up a couple to maybe 5 or, when you were on, there were like maybe 7 altogether,
Yeah, I think so.
around that, people kind of ebb and flow in. So that would be one recommendation, to create a youth position, and that way when this young man leaves, we could put it out to the counselors at the school for a recommendation.
Is it a voting?
Well, that's up to you guys. I mean, they're a member of the town.
Right.
Technically, I would think a senior is 18, but I mean, I don't know if that's a requirement.
Not necessarily.
No, I don't
Right.
think so. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
I think a young person's perspective
and he's
would
already
be good.
come as a guest and given us some perspective and some ideas, and
Yeah.
he was in the dodgeball, the adult dodgeball, and so he's been around. He grew
Unless
up
there's
here.
any reason why a person that is under 18 can't vote on a board.
No,
like
but
that.
I don't
I
know.
don't see any reason why not.
That's up
Right.
to the board.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah,
to-
I mean, it's not a.
Yeah.
that kind of
They
vote.
have bylaws. Just like-
We don't really have any bylaws that I know of.
I know that there's some out there, but
Yeah.
maybe they're not specific to you.
Okay, so that would be the first thing, to create a youth position, and that way we would continue it after this guy graduates, and then
Sure.
we'd appoint him for with your approval, 1 year. And then we do have, for a full-time member, Rebecca Owen. She's a local person. She's been coming to our meetings as a guest, and she's also has great ideas like that clothing. I don't know if you heard about the clothing swap. there's going to be a clothing swap
Yep.
next week at the town hall, and people can bring in their used clothing. It's more like a, I know they just had that fashion show for the upcycled stuff, but this is people trading clothing, not necessarily for money, So that was one of her ideas. So we would like your approval to add her as a commission member.
Well, I'll make that motion. What's her, Rebecca Owen?
Owen,
To
yes.
the Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Um,
Aye.
And what about the youth
And-
commission,
yeah,
youth
let's-
position?
I'll make a motion that we create a youth position on the Parks and Rec.
With a 1-year term? Or,
I just wanna make that recommendation so far, and then I think we'll talk about the specific candidate.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been seconded. Discussion. Did you want to discuss it further? No? Okay. The motion's been made to create a youth position.
I mean, technically, our go for
Mm.
2-year terms.
With voting privileges.
No, we need to vote.
Oh, we need to vote. Yes, I know, I was getting to that.
Okay, sorry.
So the motion's been made to create a youth position. All those in favor? Aye.
So now, give us your candidate.
Our candidate is Seth Charest. He's a senior, Seth, S-E-T-H, C-H-A-R-E-S-T, Charest.
Charette. So I'm gonna
Yes.
make a motion that we appoint Seth Charette to the Parks and Rec for a 1-year term.
Mm-hmm.
And second it so that I can talk.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay.
Discussion.
My thinking is that they may come forward with a junior next year and now got a 2-year term. So I'd rather not
Put a term.
put a term limit on the position, which we didn't do in the last vote that we just took. But we can do with Mr. Charette.
Well, mostly we are appointed for 2 years. The
Right.
commission members are appointed for 2 years. So if you wanted to just have it consistent, he could be appointed for 2 years, and then when he graduates, he just
Resigns.
resigns. And that way, the next person could take the rest of his term, and then we'd go from there, something like that. Isn't that typical?
I don't have a problem with that. You'll figure out how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I said that just because I wanted you to know that he's a senior. That we're going to invest him. He'll be
Yeah.
here through the summer and all,
Yeah.
and then he'll invest his
I
time.
mean, I think I'd
Or if you do a 1-year term, then you can just renew.
or he can change into a full-time member when he's in a.
Either-
now
whatever
he's
you-
Not in school.
Well, this would be a full-time member, would it
Yes,
not?
yeah,
But it opens up the youth position
Right.
to a new youth member.
Yeah.
I think that's not a bad idea. If we have a 1-year term for a youth membership, then this guy comes and goes, but then he becomes
But he could easily renew it.
or he
For
can just
another
become a different member.
Oh, a non-youth member.
Right.
An adult member.
That's where I was
A
going.
non-student member.
Okay.
And you've left that youth membership open, so if there's some,
So what are you saying, 1 year?
that's what I like.
Yeah, I think 1 year would work
That's
best.
the motion I made.
And they can always re-up.
They can always re-up.
and
or-
we could tell you how it's working. I mean, if we
Yeah.
think we've got the right candidate right now, but then we would open it up to the school
Next year.
next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have those 2 members.
So the motion's been made and seconded to make this youth position Seth Charest a 1-year position.
I'll
All
second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. I didn't have anything, but unless you have other questions for me, we have a couple of ideas that Dennis hasn't talked about yet. I guess I should say. So we're latching on to something called a puzzle competition. So it's for the folks that aren't sports oriented, and so it may be we're gonna do the fleshing out of it next time, but the whole commission jumped right on it. So I know that a friend of mine does it over in Moultonborough, so I got to figure out how it works. But
I've never-
it could be a league, like multiple, or it could be a one-time deal. We could charge money. We have to flesh out some of those things. But I guess that Dennis has given you most of the update.
Yeah, he gave us a
we just talked
pretty
to-
comprehensive update the last
Yeah,
time
it was just
he was
last,
in.
last meeting. Yeah.
Right. And then he reports, everything that he tells you to us. We bat around other ideas, and, he gives us feedback as to how the various programs are working, which they seem to be pretty good.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Excellent.
that was all I had for you. Any other
Okay.
questions?
Keep up the good work.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
I'll tell them to come and get sworn
right, I
in.
was gonna say,
I told them I was sending it out to you, so, for approval. So-
Well, now you have to go to Jennifer. She's got to type them up.
Yep,
Whatever she does, print them up, fill them in,
Right.
whatever. And then we
Yeah.
have yes, and then we have to.
swear them in.
Sign
Yes,
them.
I will call her tomorrow.
all
I saw
enemies
it
foreign
very well.
enemies.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Code officer.
24 building permits, 7 new houses. I've done
I-
actually 8 COs. I did one today. Done 150 inspections. I took the ice eaters out of Melbourne today. I took the ones out of Union the other day. Good thing, because the ice just started moving.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think it's gonna be
Creeping.
bad if the wind comes up.
oh my word, it's like honeycomb. It's like this thick, and it just started creeping up on top of the dock. So, like I said, the back of the townhouse roof, I had the quote there. Some of the shingles are starting to come off, so it's been pretty windy out.
And that's the only quote we got.
I've called other people, but no one
Okay.
got back. So, and that was done last year. This has all been from last
Start
year.
on this
so-
now. So you asked multiple people and you only got
Yeah.
one response, and the response is from local roofer. $10,500 to do the back half of the townhouse roof. I'll make a motion that we award it to
I'll second.
Eric Clifford.
So, yeah.
Okay, any further
Nice.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and up there, the pellet boiler needs the ash compactor replaced, so they're gonna be working on that. So
Maintenance.
it's no more warranty. It's just nightmare.
How much is that going to cost?
Don't know yet. He doesn't get into it, so.
And have you two decided what we're gonna do for heating and cooling on the police station?
Well, we have discussed it, and we think that the best is radiant heat in the floor with a dedicated air conditioning system, air handlers in the attic, split up into multiple zones that have yet to be determined, but it won't be the 7 or 8 that the engineer had. It'd probably be 2 or 3
And you
zones.
mentioned someday in the past that you had a person who might be a good candidate for that?
Yes, I've reached out, haven't heard back yet,
Okay.
but that's just one person in town. There are
And do we know any?
more.
I mean,
Oh, there's other ones. Yeah, I haven't gone
okay,
for that portion of it yet.
because that and the electric are the two ones that I think need a little attention.
Well,
I talked to a couple of,
all the interior subs,
Right, there's a lot.
plumbing,
I mean,
right.
heating, air conditioning,
Well, I think
electrical.
the plumbing we're getting.
plus
pretty
fixtures.
close.
There's still a lot of fixtures that have to be installed that a lot of these other people won't do. So
Mhm.
Like the
So how
like
do
the
you
jail
do
the jail cell.
jail cells, there's bathroom fixtures, there's
It's not it's not
other
complicated.
built-ins, but it's not complicated. You just have to find people to do it. That's all.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
Bob will do it.
Just a matter of
Yeah.
All right. So you looked at that bid that we just got?
yeah. From what's there, it's fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's a little.
Well, we'll probably want to schedule some more meetings anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think we definitely should. I don't think we should wait long. I think we should try to pull one together next week
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make a decision. And hopefully we can get something out of our other interested party.
Right. It'd be nice to break ground.
And I sent him a new email, so
He's been updated on the
yeah.
on the
I
changes.
had talked to him last week by phone, and I sent him a hard copy by email this morning. So yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to, maybe we get Audrey to do that, twist them up a little bit. I mean, we wanna be breaking ground the 5th of May, I think, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I mean, I think we should start setting the dates.
In all fairness, we need to give our other person the opportunity
Right.
to give us the best quote that he can.
I think he was looking for this week, so to have his down there.
This week?
Yeah, I think so,
Okay.
yeah, that's
So
what it
do we
seemed
wanna
like,
meet
so.
next week?
Yeah, I don't want to make a decision without having something from him, but I think we should try to pull something together next week, and we'll figure that out.
Okay. Yeah.
When are you back, Jeff?
Sunday.
You're going?
It's going to Florida for 3 days and coming back, yep.
That's what I did last week. I
Get my car.
went Wednesday
Get my
through
car
Saturday.
It
right.
must be great to,
3 nights.
you know, to afford net jets. I mean, it must be a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
I use
my
points.
son's a
I
pilot.
use my points. Easy squeezy. We good?
I think we're good. I think we are good. We're gonna talk about these lots that we might put on the market, so,
When you doing that? An
well,
hour from now, or pretty
Oh, we can do it now if you want to have any.
He's next. It's whatever, yeah, you just burn
I've
them
got
up if
time.
you
okay,
want.
well, I went through the list, if you wanna do it now.
Sure, why not? Interested parties are here.
Okay. The,
Now, I've only looked at the ones that we got tax cards for.
all right,
Those
Those
are
are
the
the
ones.
ones you asked for tax cards.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
The first one on the list, the Wabic Road,
Yep.
that's just the end of the road. It's like I mean, you could put a monument there, I guess, but it's,
Too small.
Yeah, because it's in access, that's
Yeah.
why, so,
moving down into Cow Island.
That's access.
I believe so, yeah.
Access for the cows, right?
Cow Island, the first or the second one?
The second Cow Island lot, the first is a beach, which we're gonna keep.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
second one is a back lot, and I'm thinking that the best use of, or best thing to do there is to do a lot line adjustment and just take it into the rest of the, make it part of, the lot right above it.
Does it touch? Is it,
Yeah,
did you look at the map? I didn't look at the map, so
Yeah.
I didn't get this.
Yes, it does. Or
I didn't.
because it has access in that, on that road back
Well,
there.
part of the access is actually a right of way through someone else's property from the beach.
Right,
Because we had it surveyed a few years ago.
I mean, I don't think that's a saleable lot,
No,
anyway.
just,
Okay, if we move down to Wharf Road, Union Wharf Road. The first one, 4133, it's a vacant lot. It's the old town dump. If
yeah,
you're-
the other side of the little brook there, yeah, this side of Farm Pond Road, yeah.
If you're a million years old like I am.
Yeah.
So we may wanna talk to the tax collector about putting that off.
If that's the old town, if it's an old town dump, we should probably get legal involved too, for disclaimers.
Yeah. Maple Road, that's a full-on house lot,
Right, it's down the end of Oak Leaf.
right?
So Oak Corner of Oak Leaf and Maple.
So.
Yep.
That's a good lot to sell.
Yep.
2 lots down the Butternut Lane lot,
So-
another good house lot.
Yep.
how did we even get? How did we even own that?
That's the first one we talked about, and that's the next one.
Yeah.
Is there
They don't
enough
pay
frontage with this one though?
It's an existing
a
lot
lot.
record, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, the people don't pay their taxes, that's how we get them.
Oh, right.
And the last one, Brown Road, I don't know why, I think we have to talk to the tax collector about that, cause I haven't, this is the first I've heard that the calendars aren't paying taxes on that property. But if they aren't, it's,
Well,
Yeah.
calendars. Do they still?
I
Calendars
thought
still
they
own
gave,
it?
no, they don't, because next door was the Hadleys. I believe the Hadleys gave that piece to the town, because they didn't want to maintain the cemetery.
How would it be on this list if we didn't own it?
Well, if they gave it to the town,
we own it.
we own it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, so I think we need to take a look at it, cause that cemetery's not that big, and
No, it's small.
It's about a 5-acre lot,
Yeah.
so, with a view.
So that's it sounds like it's promising.
It's
I
very
think it
steep
is.
topo to get to it.
It is.
but it's not impossible.
No, nothing's impossible.
So those three are revenue producers.
Our one's right off the bat.
And also, the garage, 100 Mountain Road. That garage that's right across from,
Almost crossing Phineas Graves, yeah.
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 I know Dennis uses it to store stuff in.
It's less than a half an acre.
Right, and it's just, it's a decrepit garage that literally,
Is right on the road.
right on the
Neighbor
road.
out
It gets
back
hit with a
might be
plow.
interested, so.
It gets hit with a plow, huh?
Where all the equipment is there in that lot, he might be interested, so you can approach the neighbor and see. I don't know.
And if Dennis is concerned about the stuff that's in it, we'll get him another Connex box at the transfer station.
We've got a trailer in it right now.
You got what?
A trailer?
You do?
Yes.
Do you have an interest in that?
The building?
Would you be sad if it went away?
The trailer's gonna go away when the airboat goes away, so.
Okay, so
But it is storage.
you won't shed a tear?
Yeah, it's just stored.
So
Yeah, no.
Okay.
if you're gonna eliminate storage, then we need to make plans for creating some, because everybody needs it. I mean, Parks and Rec needs it, that fire station needs it.
So like I said, get rid of that and turn it into a Connex box.
Well, Parks and Rec doesn't have anything in it, then
Right.
don't give me.
They,
Yeah, I
they
just
do
don't-
have a
it-
Connex
Right.
It's,
box.
it's so
I know
small,
that,
and,
yeah.
and you're sitting on top of that rock pile, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
they
it-
used to move all the picnic benches to it and some
Yeah.
other stuff, but the picnic benches are still under the.
Right, I just don't know if you can get it perked. What do you think?
Well, it'd be an add, like you said, it'd be an add-on just to,
It'd be an add-on to a
Well,
neighbor.
to
that
that guy,
existing
if he wants
lot.
to buy it, but I mean, if you wanna put it out there for sale, you kinda gotta put it out
How
for
big
sale.
is it? I don't remember. I don't remember how big it is.
a fifth of an acre.
Right, yeah, so.
It's not even
Which one is this?
The last
0.057.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
not the last one, sorry.
Mountain Road, yeah.
Second to last one.
Third to the last.
0.057, yeah. So
Oh,
Okay.
if you're gonna look at the tax card, it's the second to
probably
last
won't even.
tax card.
So,
Yeah, most likely it wouldn't be buildable, so.
0.05 acre,
Yeah.
yeah.
0.057.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much.
Okay. The Wabic Road access, though, should we get rid of that?
Who's gonna buy it?
I know, not somebody who wants to stop people from accessing the lake, which is what could happen. If somebody privately owns it, that access goes away. Or
Because
could easily go
That
away.
lot doesn't go all the way to the lake.
13.
If you look at the tax map, which I really
I don't have a picture of it. Oh, it's at the entrance of Wabic Road,
Entrance.
not at the end.
right. Well, no, it's at the end. It's a little triangle of land at the very end of that downhill road.
Way down at the bottom, at the end?
No. That's private. That, it goes into a private road, that Wabeek Road that ends at the bottom of the hill. So there are lake lots on its left,
Right.
and they continue down, so
It's the piece where it forks off at the bottom, right
Right.
just past the beach.
right,
Yeah, it's the, I know what it is now, the centerpiece, yeah.
yeah. It's
Jim
not,
plows to the right
it
of it.
doesn't have access to the water,
No, it's in the middle, it's kind of landlocked.
so.
So it's useless to anybody. They would
Well,
ju-
we could put a statue down there, if they wanna move the one from Wolfboro, we could put it there.
statue.
Just one.
Who are we gonna immortalize?
Other
You?
those-
The Chip Albee Memorial
No,
Triangle?
no. The Civil War soldier that's on the monument down there.
Depends on which side he's on.
There's only one side. So I think I'll talk to Jackie about these 4 lots. Do you see it?
Yeah, it hardly even shows up on here.
So Brown, Union Wharf, Maple,
That
and
little
Butternut.
piece right there.
Yeah, that's right there.
You see how that compares to.
See that white speck right
Oh my
there?
God.
That's it.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna buy that.
No.
no.
What would it gain us in tax revenue? $12?
It's been so long since it was taxed.
You just spent it talking about it.
That's why you don't have a tax card on it.
Right.
So,
There is actually a tax card on it.
is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Mountain Road piece as well?
It's 0.09 acres.
Yeah, a tenth of an acre.
Yep.
Hard to get a septic system, a well, and a house. on
No,
it.
but somebody
Yeah,
could
yeah.
somebody could finish off their piece of property.
Yeah.
The only one who would be interested would be somebody who
Yeah.
butts it.
Yeah, two butters there, so.
Nobody would buy.
Right.
Yeah, there's sort of three butters, that's it.
And why buy it?
Exactly.
You know, we can't do anything with it. Why would I spend money buying it from us?
Right.
You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Because your neighbor wants it.
For what? All right, so that's where we're at. I'll talk to
Okay.
Jackie and then
Yeah, I would say at least
When
the two
next
over
we
there,
meet-
so.
we'll be more specific about our
Mhm.
desires.
Okay.
Alright, let's see.
Good enough.
I mean, I think at $3,800 assessed value, that's a little rich.
Okay, so Maple Road was definitely one he was talking about.
Yep,
That's this one.
Maple Road, Butternut Lane.
Butternut, Union Wharf, 41.
4133.
Yeah, I was not quite sure on that one. Wait, let me see.
No, that was the old dump,
Well, it was a dump in the 60s, so.
yeah, so it could have some
It was-
liability.
Yeah, so there's at least two, I think maybe even three on you know his list that would fall into this. So
I mean, if it's an old dump, is it even a good idea to sell it?
depends on if you can.
Well, it wasn't that big. I mean, it's got it's a pretty good sized piece of property.
Yeah, but still. Who knows? Who knows what's leached into the ground there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happens at cemeteries. You don't tap maples in cemeteries because the formaldehyde leaches into the trees. So, I mean, we've owned it for a long time. So
Mhm.
we don't have to do anything with it, really. It's only, well, it's got a $77,000 assessment.
Nobody could build on it. I don't think you could build on it, could you?
Parts of it, yeah. It goes quite a ways back. That's Jack,
What?
can you pull that tax map that you've got there?
Which one you want?
Do you want Union Wharf Road one?
Union Wharf,
4133.
4133. A good deal, it's wet.
Vacant,
Pretty damp
wooded?
on the left, I believe.
What's that?
It's pretty damp on the left side, I believe.
Yeah, it is on the left side going down. 4133.
Should be this one right here.
It's this one right here, I think.
You mean the one with the water in the middle?
41.3?
Oh.
It's right here.
Yeah, right there. So all this dotted line is wetland.
Right.
And it's got streams going through, so you got some there.
Some in the
Somebody could
corner.
build something over here. Where was the trash being tossed?
No, right, you gotta drop it in wetlands, that was a
Yeah.
tradition.
Right, so you know where Jerry Gunrod lived?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right across is a mobile home across from him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that brook there? It's just after that brook on the left. So this is,
There's a little.
there's
Yep.
a piece of there, but
That's
it's pretty
Jerry's
damp.
house right
This
there?
is-
That's Jerry's house there, yeah.
This is pretty wooded in here.
It is up here, yeah, but that's where the,
Right.
I believe the dump was, so.
Oh, I don't know, I think the dump was right there.
Well, part of that property as well.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. I thought it was after, but.
Well, we can not sell it. I'm happy doing it either way, but just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I mean,
I'd be concerned about the liability. That's my only concern. And if legal says that we can sell it without any liability, or
Yeah, then we gotta go through testing and all the rest of that, and I think we end up with too much expense. And what's a house lot on Union Wharf going for these days? Not in that fancy development, but just like a regular house lot.
75,000. I don't know.
Maybe. So cut that in half and that's what you're gonna get for a bid.
Mm.
So now you've got 40,000 that you're gonna spend on geological testing to
Yeah.
make sure it's okay. All right,
I say we let it rot.
good place for it. But if you do have somebody that's looking for a house lot, there's 3 good ones I know. Or 2, actually 3.
All right,
Thanks, Jack.
we done with that? Thank you,
Yeah.
Jack.
Good. Thanks, Jack.
Fire department. Hi, chief.
How are you today?
Very well, how you doing?
So do you have the information from the 24th, or do you need it?
The-
You gave it.
The letter?
It was in the green folder, the employee, if you get your report from last time.
I know I read the electronic version.
Yeah.
So I didn't change anything up from the 24th. I have a few additions at the end that I will give Audrey and the person that takes all the notes for the wonderful thing. But obviously we're a little bit ahead of 2024
3 incidents.
by 3 incidents, and that's changed quite a bit since I did these. We're 2 ahead as far as inspections, so everything is about on tap as far as for the year. As far as incidents, we had a few incidents that had gone on. That's 52 Mountain Road, where we had a tree that came down through the house on a propane tank and in the wires. We saved the tree off the propane tank in case it became, once it got dark, crews from the co-op and stuff wouldn't be able to see the tree and where it was going into. It had the opportunity to cause a propane leak and an oil leak.
It did that?
No, it could have if we didn't take care of the tree and stuff. So it was before and after pictures with that. We had a motor vehicle accident, obviously, on 310 at Governor Wentworth Highway, and if you've traveled the road up there, you'll still see one of the telephone poles that's leaning there. The phone company and the cable company haven't come along to reattach the wires to the new pole. We had
So
a...
those
Yep.
wires were down for an extended period of time?
Yes, they were, and our people stayed there for an extended period of time to help assist with traffic, because we're actually having to turn some people around as far as bigger trucks and stuff like that, because they wouldn't fit underneath the wires and stuff. So both us and PD assisted at the scene for that. We had a finger amputation off of Lamprey Lane on 313. We had second alarm structure fire off of 10 Clove Lane in Freedom that we went mutual aid for. We sent engine 2 and car 1 for that. We had a report of a large outside fire. It ended up being at 23 New Road. This was at 1:08 in the morning on 315. Someone from Partridgeberry Lane, number 12 Partridgeberry Lane, saw the fire through the woods and they weren't sure what was going on. It ended up being a tended outside fire that the Captain Trent Cheater ended up taking care of. We had an outside brush fire with extension to a 2-story treehouse at 26 Union Wharf Road.
Did the treehouse survive?
And we'll see with the pictures. I would say no. That started, it was,
That's not really a treehouse, that's a tree fort.
yeah, it was 2 stories to begin
The
with.
question is, was it permitted or not?
It was 600 to 800 feet into the wooded area as far as it goes. The landowner had started a brush pile
Underneath the
and
treehouse.
didn't think that it was going to take off as quick as it did. So once it started to take off fairly quickly, he tried to move it with a tractor, which gave it more air, and
Yeah.
ambers and all that stuff went into the building. Fortunately, Utility One, which is our forestry truck, we had just put that back into service the week before because, you know, we figured the weather and stuff was getting, you know, the snow was going to be gone away. And we were able to get that out to extinguish it along with our UTV to take care of that. We had a chest pain call on 315 that our ambulance ended up transporting the patient because we had medics available instead of sending them with Stewart's and took care of that. We had one that is not there and attached to that. We had a structure fire on March 31st at 31 County Road.
Sounds suspiciously like a chicken coop, but
Well, it was actually, they had baby chicks inside the
and they had a
the
heating
residence, and they had a heat lamp
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
The pictures of the basement on that. We were toned at 2:02 a.m. For a reported basement fire that was extending to the first floor. On arrival of our first units, which would be the engine out of Melvin Village and 2 firefighters from the Melvin Village area, they had smoke showing from the residence. They met the homeowner outside who said that everyone was out. All the animals were out, besides there was a cat that was missing at the time, and obviously the 14 chickens that were, or chicks that were inside.
Wow, that could have been a lot worse.
They extinguished the fire fairly, or we extinguished the fire fairly quickly, and the pictures that you see there are before and after that we cleaned out all the burn stuff on the floor and things like that. Smoke detectors obviously saved the lives of the people that were there and gave them advance notice. They obviously did have working smoke detectors that had alerted them. And
I'm sorry,
were able
this was in the early morning?
at 2:02 in the morning.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
Jesus.
That could have gone a lot worse.
Sure could.
Talking with the homeowner, the damage that was done in the basement, obviously all of the, you've got the septic piping that runs over where the fire was, you had propane piping, you had
Plumbing,
water
electrical.
piping,
Oh, yeah.
electrical. They have up to 6 months to be out of the building through their insurance company, but they're going to have to redo everything in the basement and take the inside upstairs down to studs in a lot of it. So in something like that you wouldn't think that as you're looking at it, it's going to be a substantial fire. They're able to salvage, like clothing and belongings and things like that to have it clean, which is great, but they still need to open up the walls and stuff, especially where the electrical wiring wicked water up through different areas and things like that. But it opens our eyes as we go in that we think that, we knocked that down fairly quickly. It damaged the basement, but it does affect the people's lives, obviously throughout that. And they will have a company come in and clean everything and things like that. So, that's that.
Excuse me.
Rescue 1 was, or is back. It had $16,000, just over $16,000 of paint repairs done to it, which was covered under warranty. That's before and after pictures with that. And the company that built the apparatus,
Flat tire?
what's that?
Looks like you got a flat tire.
Well, it's not actually.
No.
No. The picture is deceiving with that.
Don't believe my lying eyes. Okay.
The company that built the rescue truck is a Lexus fire apparatus out of Alexis, Illinois, and they also got the bid to build our new fire engine.
So you had
so
to
it was-
take this piece out of Illinois? to get
No,
it done?
it was all done at Lake Region Fire Apparatus. They are a dealer for Alexis Fire. So that was great. It just went up to Tamworth, got situated, and we've got it back. It took a couple weeks because it was a lot worse than they thought once they got into the paint, and but it was taken care of without an issue.
Doesn't look like they put any primer underneath it.
Well, that is after Lake Region stripped the truck.
No, I mean.
Oh, so what happened was they were the metal that the truck was built out of. Obviously, they had some type of cleaning soap that they used to use for that, and it had an adverse effect with the
That's
paint.
aluminum.
That is stainless steel.
Well, stainless.
Yeah. It had an adverse effect, and the paint did not adhere to the stainless whatsoever. So it peeled right off. So. Thank you. So moving down, the update for Camp Sentinel's Hobby House. We did receive the signed contract between Camp Sentinel and Night Security in reference to installation of a complete alarm system for the building, and we gave them a temporary occupancy okay as far as on our side for that. So that's all.
Do they have a time
situated.
limit to get it done?
They have a time period as far as, I think it was sometime in May, that we'll relook at it and see where they're at with the whole
Before they
thing.
get campers.
Yes. A reminder that permits are required now as far as for the rest of the year. You can get them at the central station Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also get Category 1 and 2 permits online, but the seasonal permits are issued at the fire station. And we're going to, once the new firefighter starts, we're going to try to make sure that we have someone in the station on Saturdays also. So
do
that
you
would,
still have to call on, I'm sorry,
yeah, yes, sir.
still have to call on those seasonal permits when you light one?
Yes. A couple different things. We have about 450 of them that are out. We can't call 450 people, obviously, if we shut down the burning. The other thing that we run into, for example, as far as the situation on New Road, 23 New Road, someone called in a fire through the woods.
Right.
If that person had called in and said that I'm burning brush at 23 New Road, there's a possibility that we would have sent one vehicle instead of the whole fire department out for that to check it. So that's the way we run into that. That also keeps us from constantly going out to the islands in a boat, getting a crew together to go out
Yeah.
and check a smoke and things like that. So that's why we ask people to call in.
Did you, I noticed there's any outside burning of solid fuels, that include cooking fire?
Yes,
Like
anything that has to do with wood. So
charcoal?
no with charcoal and no with propane.
Okay.
So anything to do with wood, campfires, no bigger than 2 feet around. We had someone that came in today and said, "Oh, I didn't realize, campfire, that we had to get a permit for that." So, just trying to get the information out there. But if you have a propane area, a propane grill, propane area that for your whether you buy it or you have it made up in an area, that does not fall under our control for having
Permitting.
permits and stuff. So with the new full-time firefighter position, at the time we were saying starting in July 1st, we have been working on job posting. Our intent is to post the position in-house for 2 weeks and outside the department for 2 weeks. We do know that there is one call member that will be looking to apply. We're unsure of how many applications we'll receive. Wolfboro is hiring a deputy chief of EMS and 3 firefighter EMTs. Center Ospey is looking to hire 1. Wakefield is looking to hire 2. I know that Conway is looking to hire 9. So we're kind of afraid that we're going to lose good candidates in the process. We were looking to see if we could move to June 1st versus July 1st.
I think budget would be your only
Right.
holdup.
I think, so what we looked at as far as payroll, it would be like $4,000 estimated payroll that we would face. So I think our major holdup would be the retirement and insurance, depending on if the person was going to take insurance or not, as far as through the town. What is the select board's?
I think if you can,
Thought with
my opinion, I don't know about my brothers here, I think if you can find a way to do it within your budget, I don't see a problem.
Okay. And the other change that we had with that whole item was that obviously coming in today, things changed a little bit as far as time-wise. We would put it all out at the same time instead of, I think that in-house people have had enough time, as far as word of mouth that they know it's being done. So this would be our change as far as information.
Do you guys agree that as long as you can do it within budget?
Yeah, and I don't think that squeeze it even that hard. I mean, if you're talking about a 30-day move forward, so you're in June instead of July, I mean, do you need to, I don't know what the probationary period are for these folks that you're looking at?
It's used through the town, I believe it's a year, right, as far as probation?
Is there a,
I know in the police
That's
department it is.
police,
Yeah,
I think it's 90 days.
yeah, 90 days.
so I don't know if there, I mean, you could structure in a 30-day probation on the retirement.
Mhm.
That's just a thought.
Because you'd have New Hampshire retirement and health.
And health.
Right. And again, depending on the employee, if they didn't take health, then there's no question.
Well,
with that.
is this internal candidate that you have, does he already get health insurance? Does he already get any of the other benefits? Or is it an on-call?
The internal person is an on-call person with us. does
But
not
they
take
don't get
anything,
benefits.
not from the town,
Currently.
not from our town, no.
Because if you did, that would be easier.
Chief, do you want me to put it on the website too? Ready to
We,
have it out to the
yeah,
public?
once we get to that point, we've got a list of the areas where it's gonna go out and where you can put it out as far as the website and stuff like that.
So,
And we just put, on the back, you have,
you're only gonna post it till the 30th of April.
yes.
So then you have an interview period,
Yep, it's all laid out.
you're pushing it a little bit into May. Halfway to May.
Yeah.
So I don't-
We figured the
I mean,
whole
really talk-
process would be done
we're
by
talking
June.
2 weeks. I think your $4,000 is pretty rich for that.
Right.
So I think it's not gonna be four grand.
We just did a quick estimate, so it's not anything that was permanent
Well, a
figure.
lot of it depends on the candidate.
Right,
If you find somebody that's really perfect, you don't wanna lose them.
right.
So,
I am amazed, but when I started this, obviously there was a huge
good.
amount of
Looks good.
candidates. You know, there's hundreds that are waiting for one job, and now it's you know, it's pretty much a pick of where you want to go for the candidates as far as it goes. So. So with, do you have anything further with that? So you're okay with the timeline that we've got set out for that?
Yeah, like I said, if you, as long as you can do it without touching your budget,
Yeah.
I don't see a problem.
Awesome. For the RFPs, as far as the airboat replacement, we received back 4 bids. We received one from Patriot Airboat, one from American Airboat, one from Diamondback Airboats, one from Panther, and one from Elite
Coca-Cola,
Airboat.
Florida?
Yep.
They actually have a town named after Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
Actually
Chevy
do.
Chase, Maryland.
So
There's a
the
Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Oh,
it's amazing the different areas that are out there. Elite Airboat, the last one was incomplete submission. It ended up being like $93,000 and change, but the submission was by email only, and it was like 1 page. There was nothing that really was sent in as far as a breakdown of what they were going to do
No, sorry.
for that. So they were out. Panther Airboats was a full submission. Diamondback and Patriot Airboats are the 2 that we're looking at. We actually traveled to Errol, New Hampshire, where Fish and Game was training with their new Diamondback airboat, and they allowed us to operate it, use it with them on the day that we went up, and so we felt that they were a very good contender as far as that goes. Errol Fire Department was excellent as far as letting us change out there at their station and get ready to go out in the boat. So that leaves us with Patriot that is out of Texas. They do have some boats that they have sold to the New York State Police. And they've obviously sold some boats in Alaska. We're looking at possibly taking a trip to New York to look at their boats instead of going to either Texas or Alaska.
you're not going to Alaska?
No. New York, we can drive to where we need to go. We don't need to fly. So we're going to try to get that situated, and once we actually see a boat from Patriot, which we have some questions, then we'll be able to make a further decision from there.
And do we have pricing from these companies?
There was pricing that was given from Patriot, and all of the different companies were actually working to do a side-by-side breakdown of them. Once we get everything completed with that, I can give you a further, a better
Right.
view of that. You can look at them, side by side. There was some information that we were waiting to hear before we completed the different stuff. I think that we can build the boat within the price that we have been talking about as far as the $150,000. Everything would fall under that as far as outfitting it and building the boat without a problem.
And the delivery time?
The delivery time all depends on the company. Some of the companies 6 months, some were 9 months, upwards of a year. There was one company that said like 3 or 4 months as far as that goes. But I think that you'll see it'll all depend on when we get everything done and picking the company.
Cool.
Very good.
I'm not sure if you saw this.
That's kind of funny. I just sent this.
We sent it to.
I got it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 2 days ago.
We just got it today. So
We'll put them
And maybe
out
that's
on the table for people to know, and we've got the different sums of the transfer
Do
station.
does the transfer station
I
do
don't know,
it?
I sent it to Chris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know you can do it at like a Home Depot kind of thing, but I don't know.
I know that at the transfer station, when you bring the stuff in, they collect them, they put it in a box, and go from there.
They have their own bin underneath. I think they're already doing this.
Yes.
They just don't have the cardboard flammable box that they're advertising here.
Right.
We should, but we should at least post it as somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I have a question in reference to the encumbered funds, and this may be more for Audrey than it is for the selectmen. When the encumbered funds are used, do they show up on that they're used out of 2025?
No.
No,
Okay.
they better not.
Because that's where that's what it looks like as far as our sprinkler system stuff.
Right,
There was-
because when I asked the auditor 2 weeks ago when he was here, I said, it's an operating cost, but it's not gonna show up in 24. He said, no, they can be over their budget by that amount in 2025.
25.
Oh.
And I said, but I do see that this town has a line below that says encumbered
Okay.
funds. And he said that could be an out and in.
Okay.
Good. They would make an adjustment to it,
From there.
because I had not seen that line before and I didn't do it the year before. So
Okay.
I can make an adjustment, I just need to learn how to from Tim.
And you had an agreement, a working agreement
Yes.
before the end of the
Well,
year, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and
So
they're
that-
fine, yeah.
So what happened was that we had the working agreement and we turned all that paperwork in. We had the air leak in the sprinkler system that occurred, and they came in and did everything at once. They covered everything under those encumbered funds as far as the air leak, besides like $85. That was the addition onto the bill that we received. So
So that would be definitely your operating.
yeah, obviously that comes out of the operating, but it was on the same paperwork that,
Right.
that we turned in.
Yeah,
So there was $85 that we just needed to cover in that. But they covered everything else because they were already there. And that was basically the materials for that they had put in.
Good.
And then the other item, we encumbered money for new equipment, and apparently that is going to be paid this coming time that it's coming around. I just wanted to make sure that we accounted for, if it was coming out of 2025, that we accounted for that as far as the whole thing. So that's that. Sprinkler system. During one of the storms, one of our engine 2's door was hit by a snowplow, and
Town plow, state plow.
town plow.
is there a camera?
The amount was $2,400, and that's the first time that Jim has seen this. We just got the information in for that, just to keep you updated as far as the information.
So this is a door at the fire station?
Yes.
Not a door in the fire engine?
No, door at the fire station. Back dragging the doors and the plow hit the door.
It happens.
Yep. That's just to keep you up to date on that.
So we filed for that? I don't know what,
I don't know what interdeductible is, but.
Probably 500.
It's $1,000
It's $1,000.
deductible. So the question is that something that the highway department covers, or is that something that the town covers?
no, if we have insurance, the insurance covers it. And
Okay.
except for the deductible,
Right.
$1,000 has to come out of the
What-
government buildings account.
Okay. Our government buildings account, or?
Well, yeah,
Well, why do we have to pay the $1,000 that we didn't account
because you're
for?
all on the same team.
Right.
So
Well, I understand
was it really
that.
the town truck, or was it one of your contractor trucks?
It's one of my trucks.
So we need to collect from you, I guess, on that, because that's a hired vehicle.
Okay.
I think that's how it should work, probably.
I'm just asking as far as goes. I mean, if you want it to come out of government buildings, we just need to, figure out where it's going to come out of in our
It's your
section.
deductible.
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And as I said, I haven't even had a chance to.
well, let's have a chat about it before we start making decisions.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, are you getting it fixed?
Oh, we'll have it fixed,
Okay.
but we haven't. It's still opening and closing and stuff like that.
So this is just an insurance estimate,
Yes,
okay?
just an estimate for that. And this is overhead doors estimate. They took care of the ambulance door that was right next to it, that came down on the ambulance, and it's actually the same two panels in a different door. So for that. I have a question in reference to Sodom Road, the culvert and the road damage. We received 75% matching grant for Sodom Road, and it's already in the account. This was, I don't know if you already received.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is this the,
They're looking to see where we're at.
Chris was gonna ask for an extension.
He did. He got the
Okay.
extension, but they want to know where we're at now that we have the extension. Is like Bergeron going to help with this whole thing? Are you going to have Jim do the project, or?
Well, we weren't, last we talked to Bergeron, there was no guarantee that this money's ever gonna be available.
You have the money
Okay,
already in the bank
so
account.
do we have the money already in the bank account?
Yes,
Okay, then,
Either 50 or 54,000.
This is different from those other grants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, 100%. And it may have been a little bit more than that. It's a 75, 25 matching, and the town needed to come up with like 19 of it.
We did that, didn't we?
I'm sorry?
We did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So basically, they're looking to see by April 30th an update of where you are with the whole process. And do you need us to update someone? Is that an Audrey update?
Yeah, we need to get a hold of HEB and find out what the engineering costs are gonna be and how soon we can get that done.
Oh, that's a smaller culvert that
It
you had
is.
said.
I think when we talked, when I
Yeah.
met with them, we all discussed that it's something that I can do under my schooling classes that I've taken. And I'm
So is this a
updated.
job you wanna do?
It's something we could do. It's not a big deal. It's a base project for the most part.
That's the way I understood this was gonna happen. I thought this was on that our road agent was gonna handle, and that would be our contribution towards it as part of his regular work.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, we gotta get the head walls, formed and delivered. We have to install them.
And this is the one by Bill Williams' house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just above Kyle Joseph's place.
Because that has head walls and wing walls.
And we've got the money.
Theoretically. We can check.
I'll work on it and talk to Jim, and then we'll get back
So
to you.
when do they need to know back from us, chief?
End of the
April
month,
30th?
30th.
April
Thank you,
Yeah.
Barbara.
Okay, so.
Next meeting.
Next meeting,
Yeah.
we should have all the facts and figures.
Okay.
Mhm.
Super.
You wanna get both of those ones?
Yeah, we did that once, but I probably should give an update.
Oh, yeah.
We did it last fall. And I think also, if I remember, we've got a concrete pipe that has to be
Mm.
made. in advance.
So you may wanna touch base with Bergeron and ask them if there's anything else they need to do,
Okay.
just in case.
For that. I know that we just, because it fell under the time period that Chris was working on all of those
Right.
FEMA things.
Yes, if you
That's
know.
how we ended up involved in it and are getting information, but just wanted to follow up with that if we needed to do anything further with that. At some point in time, we had turned in some Division of Forest and Lands paperwork that the select board had signed off. There was a couple pages that needed to be initialed and dated on them. Is that something that you can, would be willing to do? You've already signed off on the paperwork, it just, the initials got missed.
Absolutely.
They're all marked. And that's to get us a grant as far as forestry equipment.
$500 on Caleb.
Yeah, it's the kid. Everyone that has email addresses in the department has finished their phishing course and cybersecurity updates. I don't know if you need to see
What
those.
do you want us to use for date on the,
Whatever you,
it doesn't,
whatever,
We signed it.
where you signed it.
it doesn't, we didn't include a date when we signed it.
So we need to do that now?
And just initial it then, and then
Yeah.
you fill it in.
Okay.
Yeah, we can fill in the date and figure it out whenever the last meeting was.
24th.
Do you have anything further as far as for us?
No, but we're paying town council to be out there.
All right, we're out. Yeah.
Okay, great. Makes it easier to attach to the minutes.
You already have a couple of them electronically, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work.
And you just put that in
As
the
always.
box when you're done. That'd be fine.
Got that. This folder's pulling out.
So they're going differently.
Yeah, so since January 1st of this year, we've been out to plow or treat the roads 38 times. And on March 17th and 18th, we had heavy rains along with the melting of snow that caused washouts in several dirt roads. Some roads were more severe than others, with Willen being the worst, that took a pretty good hit again. We got them all patched up. They're not perfect, but they're passable at this point. When we grade, we'll get them fine-tuned. We cold patched potholes on some of the paved roads, but unfortunately plows pulled a lot of it back out. But there's not a lot of options in the winter to do much else, unfortunately. Due to the cold weather for such a long period of time this year, the roads are in rough shape, much worse than they were before winter. I recommend that we do another ride around and review the roads and possible options, because I think some discussion is going to be needed. They're bad, as you probably all have seen. And depending on weather, we hope to lift the road bans next week. Hopefully that works out. We hope to have the road sweepers here come in the next week or two. And weather permitting, we hope to get started on dirt roads in a couple of weeks.
Road sweepers before the 1st of May.
We try to, because there's a small window to get them. And then after that, it's sometime in the summer. So we just do the best we can after that to not spread any more sand. We just won't spread sand, basically. We'll spread salt if we really have to. We'll plow and treat it like the state does. That's all you can do.
When you do the grading, do you also do 19 Mile Bay Beach parking lot?
Well, yep, we will. Make sure we get that done early this year.
And there's a little bit of water damage on the beach.
That wash through.
Washed through, yeah.
Okay, I'll take a peek at that and see what's something we can.
It's not
fix.
bad, but it definitely needs to be addressed.
Okay, all right, I'll take a look at that as well. The sand and salt shed were both in desperate need of repairs with broken or missing boards, which most of it has been completed now. But it's one of those things that over time they break.
Mm-hmm.
We had beams that broke and we had to sister them up and place the boards back. That's all I have.
So you've had some tree work going on?
Yeah, I think we spent most of the budget already. Yeah, Durgan was what we hit the most, had the most dead trees on it. But, we spent a good portion of that, and I think there's still some more to go on Ledge Hill. Budget doesn't last that long when you cut that many trees,
Yeah,
Nope.
and I look at like the Dow farm up here, every single one of those trees is dead. Are they on his property or?
Yeah, they totally, so
Yeah,
we own from the center line 25 feet out.
right.
Those are clearly past that 25 feet. And it is every other tree, to be honest with you.
They're still dead.
Yep, two different types of trees, but
Yeah.
all the ash trees
Maples, like,
died.
ash died.
Yep. I don't know, we don't have the money for that this year, to be honest with you, but
Right, it looks like you spent down the tree line a ways.
The paving projects.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get fresh pricing on that, or are they gonna?
we are, but
or they
I
gonna
think
honor-
I would like, if we could, is a team to go out and look at them and see where we want to start and what's important to us. Sodom Road needs some help too. We can cold patch it, but that is, not the correct way of patching it. hot patching would be better, it costs more money. But I think we should look at it together if you guys have the time, make a day.
So what are you saying? You thinking that you want to do some paving that we haven't budgeted for?
We may have to do some repairs here and there, not complete road, but we may have to do some repairs, which may be just a little bit, shorten up the distance a little
Shimming?
bit. Yeah, it may be shimming, but potholes, that kind of thing. We'll see. I want you to look at it and we can make a judgment call together.
Okay.
I don't
I
think,
mean, you've got $10,000 in crack sealing and another 15 in apron paving, so. And there's $25,000 there that you can probably use on repairs.
okay, yeah, that's a great idea. I think that should be something that is decided on together.
Yeah, I mean, you're at 45% of your budget right now, which means you're out of money in July at the rate you're traveling.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we don't have to plow anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the plowing budget, you're not still charging winter for that, are you?
I did charge winter for for plowing, correct, but the rest of the stuff is spring.
Yeah.
I put the storm damage repairs on spring.
Because you're only, I mean, I guess, from my perspective, you need to stop charging winter for plowing, even if we get a foot of snow next week. Because you've only got $11,500 left in that budget.
Yeah, I tried that before and I was told not to do that. It should go in the budget that it's supposed to be under.
It's not winter anymore.
I know, but
I don't
that's
know
what I was
who
But
told.
if you had to put it out to bid, just the plowing, like in the other town I was in, we did a winter road maintenance and then other road maintenance,
Yeah, that's fine. But
so.
once it turns March 22nd, it's no longer winter.
Snow
So,
is
so we
winter.
need to put more money in spring.
Because well, what are you gonna do in November when it snows? Or December?
You're gonna be over on that line item.
Well,
But it gives you
You
true
need to
accounting,
start-
is what I was told.
right, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is that you don't have a budget committee that's willing to put enough money into the winter budget. So let's spread it out into the seasons when you use it.
Okay. I used to try to do it that way, and I was told not to, but I'll do that from now on if
I
you'd
don't know
like.
that you have I don't think that you have an option. Right now, your spring maintenance, well, I guess you don't anyway, because you only got 55 grand in spring maintenance.
Right?
And 55 grand
So
in
if they
fall
see-
maintenance.
If budget
I know.
sees winter
Those are the
going
ones I asked
over
for more
every
money on.
time, maybe then the winter one can get pushed up next year.
Yeah.
If we
'cause
can
this
show
is
that 3 years in a
ridiculous.
row it's been excessive, yeah.
David can do it.
I think it should be in actual. If there's snow plowing, it should be under winter. And then in the budget season,
But it's just gonna explode out
we'll take a look at those numbers because it's bottom line at the end of the year.
on each line item. It's not just bottom line, it's each line item. So winter maintenance, if you do it that way, is gonna be way over budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the highway department, I mean, at the rate he's traveling right now, he's not gonna have any money left this fall. So the whole budget's gonna be over. So now we're looking at the gross budget, the town
No, I realize that.
operating budget. And I mean, the 75 grand that's in the contingency isn't gonna be any, I mean, hopefully we don't get one of those flooding rainstorms that we've been getting.
We'll never know.
Yeah,
Well, we will know when it happens, I should say.
yeah.
No, the budget committee needs to see the actuals, I think.
Yeah, cause the whole budget is only 24%, which is where it should be. You know, you're a quarter of the way through the year and spend a quarter of the money. But highway's the bugaboo.
Do you guys think you have time the next week or two to review the roads together? Do a drive around?
Yeah. I don't know when, but yes.
You wanna do it the 21st and start your meeting here? How long do you need?
An hour.
I would say about an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops.
Okay, do you wanna do it separate
What
work
roads did you
session?
wanna look at, Jim?
I think we need to look at Sodom Road, Ledge Hill, possibly another one.
Well, Ledge Hill, we're gonna do a paving job on.
If I recall, I don't think we didn't budget enough to do the whole thing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
You did?
$524,000 ought to do it, that's what you gave us for a number.
Okay, I don't know why I thought we were coming up short this year.
You better not.
No,
Okay.
we budgeted to do 100% of Pine Mill and Ledge Hill.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, then we can't just take money from that to do something else, then can we?
No,
no.
Yep.
no.
Well, that makes it a little easier.
I mean, that's the presentation we got. We could, we're not locked into paving all of Ledge Hill Road, just to make this clear. We took the estimate, well, I mean, you can lock yourself into a box and you'll never get out of it, Bobby. We told them we needed this much money to pave Ledge Hill Road. If something happens and we absolutely need to do something else with that, we can change that to being partial.
That actually happened one year. We
Yeah.
had a disaster on Dame Road. We had
Yeah.
to switch and do Dame
As
Road.
long as you're doing the same thing, you know, we're paving, that's a paving warrant article was passed. I mean, historically, we never put that much information on the warrant articles anyway. We said, okay, 500,000 for major roads and 250,000 for neighborhood roads. And
No, I mean, I'm fine with, we'll try to stick with the plan. Let's just
Yeah.
do the best we can. We'll figure out Sodom Road
I
some
mean, we can't
other
move
way.
money into plowing from the paving warrant article,
Mhm.
that's all.
I think they were looking at Sodom Road next year, because you'll have hopefully the 2 culvert projects done on that road.
Right, you do have the culvert, and is there paving on that?
As part of the,
I think there's a little piece, but I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking like 8
20 feet
or
on either
something.
side.
Yeah, it's very little.
So it's not like a mile on either side.
That would have been pretty nice, but no, I think it's all written up. We already have it
Yeah.
documented of how big it needs to be.
Well, if you want to go for a ride around next week, we could do it before the selectmen's meeting. Start the meeting at 5:30 rather than 4:30. Well, I guess technically we'd start it at 4:30, but do a ride around first.
That's fine with me. I mean, I just, it would be nice to know what roads you're looking at, riding around on,
Okay.
just in case. I mean, if David can make that particular time frame or I can't, what are you thinking? You're talking Sodom Road? And what else?
We were talking Sodom Road and possibly a couple spots on New Road.
Okay,
I'm hoping they start to flatten back out, but
yeah.
they haven't yet.
It's just a big dip because of the winter.
Yeah, but
Culvert settling.
I believe it was replaced probably 10 years ago, but I remember that.
Frost went deep this year. Is it?
Yeah, worse than I've seen it since I've been here. It's the worst it's been.
Is,
That's 17
is
years.
there still frost? in the
I don't
ground?
know 100%. It's not where, it could be under the roads, but it's not like if you go out here and dig in in the lawn, it's
Mhm.
fine. But you dig under the road, that's where the frost drives the deepest in the winter because there's no snow. So I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
I can ask Wartboro. I know that they were.
It's funny
planning on
because
doing some-
109A has settled quite a bit. Like the heaves or the dips, I should say,
Mhm.
were pretty bad just a few weeks ago,
Mm.
and they've started to
171 settled down.
starting to pop back up again.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
certain roads go faster than others depending on how much sunlight
Sunlight,
they get. Yeah,
yep.
it's all about that.
Yep.
And this was a colder winter than we've been having lately. I mean, I thought it probably got a lot of frost.
Yep. I definitely think it's the most that we've seen since I've been road agent, and that's 17 years, so.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of below zero weather either.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we.
Below
Below
zero?
No, you're right, below freezing. We had a lot of below freezing, but not so much below zero.
Doesn't need to be below zero.
Correct. but it was cold.
It was
Every
the
week.
longevity of the amount of cold.
Yep.
Even if it wasn't as deep a cold,
Right,
it never got above freezing for
a while.
a while.
So do we need to put out an RFP for paving, or are we happy gonna make that decision after you drive around?
Well, that's what I was hoping to do, is that I just want to verify it, and then we can put together the
An
bid
RFP?
package.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I just wanted to verify that before we just.
Well,
put
you
the
got,
package.
you got quotes last year for these roads, right?
from
So unless they're gonna, I mean, if they're gonna hold their prices, I would say that we don't need to. But if they're not gonna hold the prices, then I think we need to.
Well, we don't know until they bid it, so we gotta bid, we gotta have the bids.
Yeah.
Because
I
those
don't-
bids
I
are
don't
good for
think
30
those were
days.
actually bids that we got.
They were budget estimates,
Yeah,
Yeah.
budget estimates.
then we need to put it out.
100%.
And then we need to
Yeah,
put it out.
speaking of that,
We need to put it out today.
the roadside edging for Tuftonboro Neck, you did some of that.
Yeah, because we couldn't get them to,
So are we getting credit for that?
They didn't
We
charge
did.
us.
yeah, we got credit for that. We saved a bunch of money doing it
Okay.
ourselves, but,
Just as long as they didn't get the money in that. Product.
yeah, we wouldn't let that happen.
All right.
Yeah, and we saved quite a bit of money by doing it ourselves. I would have preferred that they did it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But it wasn't happening, so.
right, because they do it with a different compaction.
Did Permadrive give us a bid?
Permit Drive.
Never heard that name.
Permadrive paving?
Are
No.
you talking about up in Conway?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
where-
they just do driveways. I don't think they do roads.
Okay.
Well, we need a,
Well, the gentleman who was in here last week, with, Jory, his father owns Permadrive
Oh,
paving.
is it Perma Pave or something maybe?
Something
Perma
like
Pave,
that.
I think. I think I'm familiar with the trucks. They're out of Conway.
Yeah.
I just wanna remind you, we have town council waiting,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, we were looking at paving, we need to get paving in the new police station, so I think that's part of the conversation we had.
yeah.
But the other part was,
Well, if they do roads, I'm suggesting that he should get an invitation to bid,
Yeah.
if they do roads. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. Very good.
Are you
Next
around, are you around later this week, Jim? You can stop by? So-
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Just let me know when.
Alright. And
All right,
I
so-
leave it Thursday.
What did we say? April 21st
First.
Yeah.
at
You and
4:30.
I verify that.
4:30 here.
Yep.
Yeah.
and go over with what Audrey, obviously you haven't, because you would have known how much money we had in the paving budget. But go over the other warrant articles that impact you, so that we can start whatever process you wanna do on the building,
Okay.
because you do get some money for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
That's what I wanted to talk to him
Probably didn't get all the
about.
money you wanted, but you got something to start.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Do you want, can you do 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
On that Monday?
Yeah.
Let's start at 4 o'clock
Okay, 4
on the
o'clock.
21st.
Okay. 4 o'clock. We good?
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. We have council coming in, why do we have council coming in?
okay. It's gonna be non-public. Can you, turn off video and we'll go into executive? They don't have to do it by RSA, it's legal, it's a non-meeting.
And then,
All right, back in session, coming out of our legal session. So we're gonna move on to the consent calendar.
David, can you just give him that for the signature?
back there.
Thanks.
For,
Consent.
oh, this is for the fire department,
Right.
for his folder.
Okay.
In the consent calendar this week, we have the Stantec proposal for the transfer station post-closure monitoring. This is the extension of an existing contract that we have with them.
Yep.
Administrative abatement from our tax collector for
How much money?
$44, $22, and $22.
So these are overpayments because people who have tax account, or accounts.
Payment was received for them after the tax collector posted the fees for the registered lien letters, but before they were mailed, so it's a crossing in the mail. Notice of intent to excavate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notices of intent to excavate.
And a supplemental.
A supplemental intent to excavate. 1, 2, 3, 4 gravel tax levies. Appears to be the same properties, and yield tax levy for 2 properties.
There was only one, the supplemental,
Only 1 supplemental, yes.
and we don't have a levy on that yet.
I don't see, no,
Okay.
not on this list.
I'll make a motion we sign these aforementioned documents.
Oh, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Action items.
We already kind of went through the property cards and town-owned property.
Yeah.
I'm really not prepared on the beach
A
side.
sing review, are we singing?
Oh, what?
Is there singing? Nobody
Town
warned me
You don't
about
want
this.
me to sing.
Town sing review,
Nice.
language and location. This is getting more and more interesting.
So, but you're not. It's not ready for
I
tonight.
wasn't even here.
Oh, I
Well,
see.
for
Wear
what-
the right outfit.
For what it's worth, I went down and I read the sign at the beginning of the week last week.
Sign.
Yes.
It's not a sign. I see.
Funny. I didn't see any issue with the verbiage on the sign, but we can discuss it as a group if you think we need to.
Swim dawn to dusk, no rescue equipment available. Swim is restricted to inside the lines. Smoking, glass, litter, alcohol, dogs, diving, fires. Why bother going? Can't smoke, can't drink. Gotta swim
do you
inside
do?
the lines. Do we
Have a
need to?
picnic.
Oh yeah, you can eat. They didn't say anything about eating. Do we need to vote on this? It's already out.
Is anybody making a recommendation for changes?
No, I'm not even sure why it was
Yeah, why is-
still on the agenda, because we did talk about it with Dennis a little last time.
Unless somebody makes a recommendation for changes, we have nothing to decide.
I like the original with sing review. Yeah. Anyway,
So I think that's the
do you want to
consensus of the board.
I'm sorry.
Unless there's any recommendations for changes,
No.
there's nothing to
Okay.
decide.
Alright,
And
you already did the land.
yeah, we did the land, and I think we're just going to shore that up when we go for a ride with what's his
No.
name, Jim.
On that one, you go, just gonna talk to the tax collector about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Get my
Yeah.
items mixed up. So nothing for that.
I've already read the correspondence.
Correspondence is the press release from Chief Thompson regarding the fire on March 31st. Board of Adjustment notice of decision for variance for cases 494 and 496, and a letter from the State of New Hampshire Office of the State Fire Marshal concerning fireworks, which doesn't appear to have any direct impact on the town, because the town of Tufton Borough does not restrict fireworks. Okay, and
Town administrator.
town administrator and selectmen's updates.
Police chief would like to know if he can start buying accessories for, the cruiser that will be coming end of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's some certainty that they're going to be used. You know what I mean? I would hate to buy a vehicle, accessory for a vehicle, and then find out, oh, it doesn't fit. 'cause
Well, I
I'm
think
not-
I think his concern is some of these items that he's going to be purchasing have long wait times, so he wants to get the orders in now.
Yeah, I don't have a problem as long as it
And it'll expedite completion of the vehicle once the vehicle is
Yeah.
Yeah,
delivered.
and we're earmarked for one of the ones coming in July.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I'm out on Thursday, the labor law workshop. On Wednesday, there's, I think, 5 people coming in the morning to do a general assistance meet and greet, start networking, because I had 2 requests for hearings. Gratefully, they both got canceled, but as I called around the different towns, you know, one woman was like, well, I've never done that, I'm new here, I'd like to attend. And one of the women coming from Wakefield, she used to actually be on the board of the welfare people, and that's who I was dealing with, the president of the board in Rochester regarding a case this week. So we're gonna network on that, and probably like once a quarter, we'll try to get together in various towns and.
Good.
Yeah, because there's quite a few things I don't know.
Mm.
On that, you just heard that I had a case that I got her in a shelter and she left voluntarily. And then I had a family of 7 who's now down to a family of 3, and they came in today and I gave them an application. And then Friday at 1 o'clock, Chris Fournier and I will be on a half-hour call with FEMA and the state on the culvert projects. Because 3 of them are all fully awarded right now. I think we're just waiting for,
So we may be able to move forward, is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
yeah,
Like it's
Money has to move though.
right, but it's closer to likelihood. It sounds
yes,
like.
yeah.
Okay.
We need the letters.
I have them, I didn't print them off. Yeah, I'm still in a little bit of vacation fog. Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay. Selectmen's updates?
The only one that I was going to bring up, Chief already brought up, which was the battery issue.
Yeah. Yeah, for anybody who's wondering. The lithium ion batteries are going to know. What's the date on that? I'll read it out. New Hampshire rechargeable battery disposal ban. Starting July 1st, 2025, it will be illegal to put rechargeable lithium ion batteries in your trash. They must be recycled. So our transfer station will have a bin for lithium ion batteries.
It's a whole bunch of places they can bring them. They can bring them to Staples, Home Depot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are definitely.
Yep.
So anyway,
Maybe,
that was my one.
Put this on the website, on the Tufton Borough website.
I'll just throw it on the Facebook page too, please.
Yes.
Continuing to work on the police station. I did talk to a local general contractor about the earthwork. He said he was gonna submit a bid, but then he came to my house this morning and said he wasn't gonna submit a bid. He talked to one of the bidders that we already have and thought that it would be better to work within that structure, so he's gonna
Respectfully decline.
respectfully decline, but probably be involved in the project, which is a good thing, because
Okay.
he's a town.
So to be a subcontractor, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Right,
Okay,
it's a
good.
townie. I think we're all in agreement on the cement specs that needed to be adjusted
Mm-hmm.
to reduce the amount of steel. Hopefully we'll get some input from some heating and air conditioning contractors, because that's really the major element that's missing. We've got the plumbing being put together, and electric. We still need electric, so we've gotta, I mean, we're not under the gun because we don't have a shell up, but at some point in time, we're gonna
No.
wanna make sure we've got enough money to do this thing.
Yeah, but at this
Currently, we're under $1 million to have the shell up and the outside done and the parking done and the septic system done, but,
site work and a structure.
right, so we need to get those other couple elements.
Mhm.
So are you saying we're still in need of electricians?
We are.
Oh, yeah,
We,
everything on the inside, we still need we still need an electrician, we still need an HVAC contractor,
right.
security,
Drywall?
drywall,
Yeah.
insulation,
Insulation,
but these are all
I think, has already
these are all
been
small subs.
estimated by both of them actually gave us an insulation.
Jordan? Oh,
So the numbers of, I mean, it's gonna be a subcontractor, we know it's gonna be a certain amount of money, so we're in pretty good shape there. Hopefully we can get the plumbing and that sort of stuff done, so I'm sure we can. But ideally, as I said earlier before the meeting, if we could break ground the first full week of May, that would be good.
That'd be excellent, I don't know
And I think
if,
we've
I don't know if
given.
we can, but I
Right,
think it's a good idea to have that as a goal at least.
yeah.
Whether we meet it or not's another thing.
Well, I mean, all we really have to award is the site work to get that going.
Mm-hmm.
Both of the final bidders that we're looking at have given us site work numbers, so it's just a matter of us. But we haven't got the other numbers together from one of them, so
Right.
my understanding is that we're gonna get that this week,
Good.
so we should be fine.
Good.
And we haven't heard from our solar people for a while, maybe we should give them a shout,
I will, yeah.
because the roads are gonna open next week, I guess, according to the road agent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no
Ring their bell.
One thing, watching the national news made me think that
That was your first mistake.
regardless of, well, I watch the number of different channels, doesn't matter. One thing that we may wanna consider is a container. Like we have for Parks and Rec. They're out there. I mean, getting, for instance, the window order, the truss order.
Rent or purchase?
I'm thinking purchase, cause I mean, you can always sell the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can always move it up to the transfer station and have another storage
right,
container.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot less money than rental, and you actually have something at the end of the
Right.
day.
Yep.
Do we have the ability to move said?
No,
Containers?
well, a
They
20-footer
deliver.
we probably could move. I've dealt with a guy down in Belmont who's moved a couple containers for me up at the counties. Great guy, easy to get along with, and
I don't know where Dennis, I thought
Absolutely
Dennis got
reasonable.
his up in Tamworth or somewhere.
Maybe.
I'm just
Maybe.
saying, I don't have a preference. But they deliver, they just don't move it from one place.
Right,
to
one
another.
to the other.
But you can get it. I mean, an excavator will pick one up or drag it up on some.
well, yeah, like I said, I've had a couple containers moved.
Okay.
Costs a few $100s to get them out
Yeah.
here, but yes,
It's
Yeah.
still probably cheaper than renting.
they can be moved.
Yeah, or sell
They
it.
just have to be empty or sell it. So, okay, good.
Maybe even whoever gets the contract will find it so nice to have one that they decide they wanna buy it from us.
Mm-hmm. That it?
On that, no, I still need to, reply to the architect, I gave you all his email, as a
Right,
reminder.
and, I'm sorry.
Um,
We had talked earlier that we've made so many substantial changes, but I'm not certain how valuable his input would be. And I don't wanna spend, and maybe you guys do, but I won't be here, I don't wanna spend an hour talking to the architect about why we shouldn't do something that we've already decided to do. I mean, the steel in the foundation, the wall structure, which I think is a much better solution.
Anything that we have discussed is what we call value engineering.
Right.
It's I don't want to use the term trimming the fat, but certain things of this police station have been over-engineered. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm not an engineer, but I think certain things in that design are too expensive and too.
Could be done for less.
Right.
Yes.
Could be done and serviceable for less money.
Yes.
And the
So-
heating and cooling, we've completely changed, I think, from a backup radiant to a full radiant with air handler.
Mm-hmm. which is actually gonna be cheaper in the long run
Probably.
than what we previously had engineered.
So the point being that I don't think that we need to engage our architect at all at this point.
I agree.
As do I.
Not that our architect's work up to date has been invaluable, because it's been very valuable. It got us to where we are.
Right.
But I think we're value engineering now, and I don't think Phil's interested in value engineering. I
Do
think he
we?
wants to- and
I mean, does that put us in any legal or
No.
no?
no, because anything structural, like the trusses, don't get engineered by him anyways. They get engineered by the manufacturer.
Right.
Okay.
So those are going to come with their own re-engineered
Yeah.
installation instructions, so to speak.
Doors, windows, all that stuff has got engineering already
Yep.
happening.
Yep.
So what we've done,
And actually, we've added to the structure because we're double walling it now. Correct.
Yeah,
I mean that, if anything, adds
I
to
don't
the
think
strength
you-
of the structure, doesn't it?
yeah. I don't think it's.
so you're not an engineer and I'm not an engineer. It appears as though it's added. We have no ability to
I
defend
know.
that position.
I don't disagree with you, Chip. I'm not disagreeing with you there.
I mean, I think having an R20 wall and whatever they got on a roof, I mean, you could probably heat the place with a candle. And just the labor savings alone, I think it's
Mhm.
more than worth it. At any rate, to get back where Audrey was, I'm not sure. And we can send him a nice letter and say we jumped off the cliff and.
Too late.
Unless he's got
Just,
a parachute, that can't help.
At this point, we're probably just going to pause his services, and if we do need him, we can probably call him on an hourly basis if we need him.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I think once we break ground and do this bidding that we've got going,
Mhm.
I think everything beyond that's gonna be too late to call the architect. I mean, he's already
Right,
done.
right. So we've agreed to pause.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
We've increased the size of the building and changed everything.
Right. You all set?
I am, thanks.
Okay, and I'm just trying to, this is nothing that can happen this year, but I'm taking a little initiative and trying to get some ideas on what it would take to put a four-way blinking light at the intersection of 171 and Ledge Hill Road. I'm trying to work through the logistics and getting a cost estimate. So if it's something that we can do next year in the budget process or town meeting, I'll at least have the information
I think,
available.
I think it's a great idea, but I'm not sure how you coordinate with the state. So we don't have any rights there to put up a.
No, but we have an invitation from the state.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Okay.
The state said that if you want to go on, do this on your own, feel free to apply. They didn't say we could do it, but they said feel free to apply, which means that they're going to entertain listening to us if we ask to do it ourselves. That's what I got out of the letter.
Okay.
So I want to at least have the information, whether we go do it or not.
Hey, we can even apply. It doesn't mean we have to do it.
Well,
Right.
they're gonna have to engineer it, because, I mean, we can't hire an outside engineering firm to do it.
I've reached out to Eversource because of their pole that it would be attached to. I've reached out to a signal installer, and that's basically where I'm at right now. Once I get that information, then I can go to the state.
Which brings me to the crosswalk.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, we were talking to Jim about doing the crosswalk.
Right.
It did slip my mind tonight.
We didn't budget for it.
Oh, I think the money's there for the light. It was always there, wasn't
I don't think, no. No, the plans got done for free
it? Okay.
by donation. Matt Young did those for the town. We just have to do it, and we found out that we can do it the same way that Wolfboro did with their crosswalk at Brewster Academy. Those are two lights that are solar operated,
Right.
solar
I thought
powered,
we had
excuse
the
me.
prices for that solar light, crosswalk light.
Well, I think we have the
Yeah,
prices for the
yeah.
light itself, but not the installation. Somebody has to put in a concrete base.
Right, and that's, we talked to Jim.
Jim about that.
Yeah, he said he'd be willing to do it,
We didn't get a price from him on
Okay,
it.
so we need to.
but we
get the
didn't
numbers together.
finalize that. We didn't get a number, and then we have to get somebody to paint the lines, which is easy. That's short. I think we could even do it ourselves. We have
Different paint.
it is a different paint. It wouldn't last more than a season if we did it ourselves.
Can we put that on the agenda for the next time we see the road agent?
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be nice to get that in before summer, I mean, if we're gonna do it,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sit around for a few years.
Well, we're going to see him in 2 weeks.
right.
So,
2 weeks from today.
I have one other thing as well.
Thought you were all done.
I know. Oh, their vacation brain. Pat Tarpey from Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance, she came and talked to you a while ago. They had extra funding they wanted to use around the lake. So, she went and talked to, the person who looked at the, Melvin Wharf Road and Lake.
right,
With
next
you?
week.
So they're putting out a request for qualifications, looking for someone to do stormwater and design at Melvin Wharf. And the best way to do that, does Selectmen have any issues with them moving forward?
That kind of doubles up the efforts that we're
But
doing,
I don't
right?
know that, I'm trying to remember.
I know.
Tyler?
Tyler, thank you. Tyler Phillips.
I'm not sure how much work Tyler's done, so they need to coordinate with
They're
Tyler.
working with him,
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
then it all works.
Is this a duplication of efforts?
Well, I wonder if it would,
It's only their duplication, if it is. I mean, we're not paying twice. if you will.
No, but are they trying to accomplish the same thing that we're trying to accomplish?
It would
Or-
be in preparation for
In
it, so
preparation.
they would be paying basically for the stormwater management and control design.
Right,
And then the actual physical work, you'll probably do a warrant article next year.
Mm-hmm.
right. But that's what Tyler would be working on if we gave him the go-ahead.
Right.
Right.
So they're offering to help us out with
Right.
by doing
Yes.
by doing a step.
And probably get some grant
So
money.
I sent her to Tyler after she was with us
Oh,
to look at those two.
well, that's awful nice of them.
So,
And them. Cool.
okay.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
We gotta sign some stuff though, right?
Yes.
All the